So hopefully you've all seen our 6-part series leading into the release of the draft urban plan for community consultation. We made a commitment to you that we'd come back and answer the questions that we've been asked during this process. So here we are, back to give you the answers to the questions that you've asked us.
Okay, so one of the things that we've heard a lot from the community is a question around why the executive management team of the council actually undertook the videos for the urban plan, as opposed to traditionally what would have been our councillors doing that. And it's a great question and one that we are very encouraged by. And the reason for that is that we actually listen to our community. So as part of the community engagement framework consultation that we did earlier in the year, what came through very, very strongly from the community was that there was a lack of trust between the community and the council. We don't shy away from that. We know that we have some trust to build with the community. But the lack of trust came from a sense that the community didn't feel that the council were genuine in the consultation that they undertook, that they perhaps felt that there was prior motives or prior decisions that have been made around certain projects and the like that had already been predetermined before they came out for consultation. Now, whilst that wasn't the case at all, we've taken that feedback on board, and what the council have done as a result of that is that they now have a policy whereby if there are major projects like this one, that the executive management team will take the lead and we will go out and consult with the community. We'll take all of their feedback into account, whether we've got it right, what are the things that we haven't thought about that's important to the community, what are the things that we need to change and adapt, and then we will take all of that feedback back to the councillors and they will then have time for them to determine their position on things, and perhaps after that we need to make more changes. And then when the council are satisfied that the community has been heard and that their aspects have been considered, then we'll come out for community consultation thereafter. It's important to understand that this is how we're going to do community engagement moving forward. The councillors really wanted to change that opinion that the community has. So we'll be doing this model moving forward. The council signed off on that model earlier in the year, and this is the very first project that we're doing under this model. And I guess the other thing is that the executive management team are really passionate about community and passionate about consulting with the community, so we're very much looking forward to it.
So I understand there's been feedback about confidence that this plan will actually be implemented as opposed to previous plans that perhaps haven't been. Look, that's a really good question. The point is we're actually, in a way, getting on with this plan already. Even though there's a plan for the future, elements of it are currently in place. So the redevelopment of Burnie Arts, we've attracted $17.3 million worth of funding from the Liberal government for the upgrading of our CBD. We delivered the coastal pathway. We've got great plans for this city, and I think that with the community, if they come on board and actually co-design this with us, they can have confidence that they can hold us accountable and that we will deliver this plan. I think the community can also look at draft budgets, at our 4-year capital program, at our 4-year plan, and they'll see that we are serious about implementing this plan. We've already started to factor works in to those 4-year programs, and the community can see now and will see over the next 3 or 4 years that we are serious about this.
Okay, so one of the questions that I've observed is the community wanting to know why it took 6 weeks to launch the videos and why there wasn't a great level of detail in them, which is a great question. And the reason for that is, well, for a couple of reasons, in fact. Firstly, you will know that we got $17.3 million from the election process, which is phenomenal, and we very much thank the state government for that investment into this urban plan. But we actually had to lobby for that quite some time ago. So these things don't happen overnight. We actually had to have months and months lead up to actually being successful in generating that grant funding. And we've had to do that because of the election that was brought forward well before we're expecting to. So yes, we are probably doing this earlier than we would have otherwise, but for good reason. And the second thing is that we had always planned to launch this after the budget, because we need to know what is in the budget and what we can actually deliver as part of the urban plan. And that process is still ongoing at the moment, of course.
So one of the main questions that's come up throughout the 6-part series is around the safety issues that we have in the city. So safety can be through a few kind of avenues. The first is around the perception of safety. So feeling safe when you come to the city, whether that be during the day or during the night. So the plan's going to look at a lot of things like our lighting around the city. It's going to look at our CCTV. and also looking at how we can bring people to live into the city. So building residential housing so that we get people around the city more of a night and of a day and get that passive surveillance, which shows that people do feel safer in those kind of environments. Now, the other component of safety has been around access for people with disability, or even simply people trying to get through, mothers with prams, all those kind of things. So in the plan, we start looking at our streetscape and widening that out and trying to make really clear thoroughfares so that people can walk unobstructed by tables, signs, all those components, and also looking at simple things like tactiles on all our curb ramps, and whether we need to look at visual aids for people crossing the road. So all these things are parts that we're going to consider within the plan.
We've had questions about how this plan supports business in the CBD. The plan we're aiming to develop is a holistic plan to guide development of the CBD over the next 15-20 years. If we make it an attractive, safe, vibrant, easy to move around space, it will attract people, and people will attract business and investment into our CBD.
Big question that everyone's been asking is, when are we going to get to see the plan? You've heard us talk over the 6-part series about everything that we're going to do, but I know a lot of people are just eager to get their hands on the plan and have a look. So the good news is we'll be dropping the urban plan itself, the master plan, which is a detailed document around everything that we're trying to do, as well as a little video which gives you a snippet of what we're trying to achieve. So we encourage everyone to really get hold of this and start to read through it, have a look at it, and start to form some opinions. I do want to stress though, this is a culmination of what we think the community want from the consultation we've done so far. It's important to understand it's not the final copy. Okay, what we want to do now is come out. We're going to have 6 months of extensive engagement with everyone in the community. We're going to target different groups, different people from all walks of life, so we can ensure that we cover everyone's opinion, and then we want to work through this plan. So that means making changes to it. That means adjusting anything that we need to do. If we need to go back to the drawing board on some parts, we want to do that. It's more important that we really get this right. So that engagement will start within a couple of weeks of the video dropping, and I also just want to take the time to say thank you to everyone who's participated so far. I know there's a lot of doubt around a master plan and there's a lot of positive and negatives around it, but the biggest thing I hear when I look at social media, when I talk to people, is they feel like the council aren't listening and they're not going to get a say. Well, now's the time for that. It really is. We're at a position we want to spend the next 6 months talking to you, engaging with you, understanding you. So please talk to us, let us know, and take the opportunity, because we have one really good shot to change the city, and I'm really, really excited to do it. So thank you all again, and please remember, keep your eye out for the video, and we can't wait to hear from you. Thanks.